Welcome to Just Minding My Business Radio, where we are moving at the speed of God, learning what we didn't know we didn't know. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
So grab a pen and paper and get ready for information that you can use.
Welcome to Just Minding My Business Media, LLC. Consider product placement with Just Minding My Business Media, LLC. Visit our website at jmmbmediallc.com to discover digital products to 10x your business. Contact us at jmmbradio@gmail.com. I don't look to jump over 7-foot bars. I look for 1-foot bars that I can step over. Warren Buffett. Today we welcome Stuart Leo, who is the founder and CEO of Waymaker.io, an intelligent business management platform that helps leaders build a better business in 30 days. Stuart is a global thinker in strategy, systems, and leadership development. As the founder of Waymaker.io, he has led the creation of Waymaker's Leadership Curve, a revolutionary way of building clarity, alignment, and remarkable results for any organization. Welcome, Stuart.
Thank you for having me. It's a real joy to be with you.
Absolutely. Waymaker. I like that name.
That's cool. So do we.
How did you come up with that name? That's awesome.
Well, I mean, effectively what we do is we help business owners and their leaders get unstuck, help them find a way to make progress. And so, I mean, everybody at some point, every business owner or leader, you get stuck at some point, and you're looking for ways to make it through, to make your vision a reality. And we love the name. We came across the story that in the 1600s, go back 400 or 500 years, in the English court, so over in the UK, there was actually a role called a waymaker, and their job was to go out and connect the roads and build the roads and make sure the roads were safe between the villages and the towns across the United Kingdom, across England, so that people could trade, that businesses could trade from one village to the next. They were the waymakers, and they were really the very early kind of job creators, trade ambassadors, economic development people, entrepreneurs that were out there doing business and doing trade. And so we love that name. We love all that it stands for. And so we really example that in what we do. We help business and owners and leaders see the way forward. If they're stuck, we'll surface their gaps through our intelligent diagnostic. We'll help them see what they need to do next, help them build their goals, track their goals, align their team. So that's what Waymaker is, a way to build a better business, literally in 30 days or less.
Wow. That's definitely a catcher right there, 30 days or less. So how do you achieve that?
Well, the secret sauce really is in the intelligent diagnostic tools that we've built. And so the simplicity is this. We talk about Waymaker's leadership curve, which, just imagine a classic maturity curve or growth curve, bottom left going up to top right, growth. And no rocket science there. Every organization and every leader, as they go through this growth curve, will go through different stages of business, different maturity stages. But what most people don't really get into the detail of is, as you go through those stages, there's certain skills and certain systems, so certain things you need to know as an individual or as a team, and certain processes or systems you need to kind of put into your business in order to make it to the next stage. And so what our research and development did was to go back and say, okay, what are the fundamental skills and fundamental systems that accelerate you and launch you and your business into that next stage of growth? And so we built some diagnostic tools that in a few minutes, 4 or 5 minutes to 10 or 15 minutes, you and your team can take that diagnostic. We'll tell you where you are on that leadership journey and that growth journey. And then we'll tell you which skills and systems that, if improved, will help you accelerate to that next stage. And we do that through some intelligence and some classic diagnostic work that goes on, and people far smarter than I, creating the algorithms to make that work. And then we help you through the software turn those gaps into goals and track those goals and deliver those goals. And as strategic software, the whole thing automates for you. So next quarter or next half, when it's time to rethink your goals, the whole thing runs again. And so Waymaker, we like to describe it a bit like a smartwatch for your business. It listens, it surfaces up gaps and tracks what's going on, and then rinse and repeat. So within 30 days, you can have diagnosed your business, found your gaps, set some goals, and be working on the most valuable activities that will create breakthrough growth for you.
That sounds dynamic.
Well, it is dynamic. We're in a very different world in the 21st century than the 20th century. And the 21st century is so much more dynamic and agile. We've come out of so much stability over the last 50, 60 years. And we've entered into the 21st century with not that kind of stability. Organizations and leaders are facing different times. And that means you can't go away and write a 5 or 10-year plan, because you know what? You don't even know what's going to happen in the next 12 to 24 months. Life can change so dramatically that we need to work out how to live more agile and more dynamic. There is a way to do that. There's a way to make your vision a reality, even in a very disruptive world, and hence Waymaker. So we're big believers in seeing entrepreneurs and those that love their business or their organization, profit or not for profit, figure out the way to make it, the way to make their vision a reality. And if we can help you do that, find those breakthrough activities through our intelligent algorithms and diagnostic tools, set the right goals, align your team to the right goals, and track that to success, then, well, I think that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Because now, like you said, that 5-year, that 10-year plan, you can't really do that anymore.
We found in our research that so many business owners would go away and try and write a business plan or put a strategic plan together. But in reality, it became a PowerPoint document or a Word document or something printed out that lived on a shelf to tell your bank manager or your accountant that, oh yeah, I've got a business plan, but it had, absolute zero relevancy to your day-to-day work. And so in reality, the way we do strategic plans and business plans from yesteryear is just, in all honesty, a complete and utter waste of time. There are smarter ways and better ways and more effective ways to think strategically and act dynamically. And they're the tools we're helping 21st century business leaders use.
Along with what you're saying and the way you're describing what your company does, how do you build resilience in an organization? You don't have 5 and 10-year plans anymore. So they have to be able to turn on a dime in order to keep up and stay functional.
That's such a great question. We could talk for hours on this, but we won't. I'll give you the quick version, because this is one of my favorite topics. And one of my favorite leaders is an American, a General Norman Schwarzkopf, and recently passed away, but a very, very famous American general who led the efforts in the first Gulf War. And he had this very famous statement. And he said, every great leader must have character and strategy. But if you must be without one, be without strategy. And so what did he say? He said, every great leader must have both a great mix of character and strategy. But if you must be without one, be without strategy. And what he was really saying was, it really doesn't matter if you don't know what to do next, so long as you know who you are, what you stand for, what matters most, and can hold to the character of you. And so depth of character is the key to resilience, and it's the key to organizational resilience as much as individual resilience. So when organizations know who they are, what they stand for, why they're different, the problem they solve, and the value they create for their customers, the tactics don't matter so much. The strategic tactics don't matter so much. So long as you act according to your character, you're going to do the right thing. And that's, you mentioned resilience, and how do we hold that resilience? That's the actual secret of resilience. Resilience is the capacity to undergo change without losing or decreasing your sense of identity. In fact, great resilience is the capacity to undergo change by emboldening or strengthening or growing character, not diminishing it. That's what resilience is. And so organizations that have resilience have the capacity to know who they are, what they stand for, why they're different, the value they create, the problems they solve. And when that's really clear across a team, when something goes wrong, the organization, the individuals default back to that organizational character. And you know what they do? They just do the right thing. It doesn't matter what they do. They do the right thing.
That's so tremendous. Wow. Thank you for that. I hope everybody hears that, puts that in their front pocket so that they can pull that out. Oh, that's phenomenal.
Yes.
Because that's why so many what were really great companies have gone down the tubes and cannot get back on their feet because they're so worried about the strategy. They've lost sight of the character of who they are as a company, who they always were. They were dependable. You could trust their products. They stood behind their products. Their employees were important to them. Yeah. All of those things went into the mix so that when things got tough, there were some companies that could survive because they kept their character, and there's others that have just literally disappeared off the map.
That's right. Yeah, you've nailed it. That's exactly true. And so the art of strategy is very first and foremost the art of building character. And in organizations, it's slightly different to individuals. There's just a few tweaks, but in organizations, character is about understanding your organization's purpose. It's what problem do we solve? It doesn't have to be an esoteric existential purpose. It's actually really simple. Why does this company exist? It exists to solve this problem. Well, that's your purpose. That's really, really simple. It's about understanding purpose. It's about understanding your position in the marketplace, why you're different. It's about understanding the value proposition to the customer, the benefits they get, the gains they get, the pains you solve. It's about understanding your personality and the principles of your organization. And when your team get that underlying clarity, and this isn't rocket science, a small business in the neighborhood of whatever city in the world doing accounting or financial planning or making widgets or serving burgers or great pasta, they do this. They do this every day. And that's the organizational character. As a collective, we know who we are. We have a sense of identity. And so then your strategy is really simple. It's simply be a better version of you. Be a better pasta maker, be a better coffee maker, be a better burger guy, be a better financial planner, be a better widget maker or manufacturer according to that character. And so strategy then just becomes very much how we execute that character, and that's when your team can thrive.
And it all makes sense. It's simple to do, but hard for many companies to do.
It is, because it's confusing. When you go to business school, they teach you how to balance a budget. They teach you how to use Excel, and they teach you how to use PowerPoint, and they teach you how to maybe write a marketing plan, but they don't teach you how to lead a business. And so many small business owners fall in love with what they do and struggle. They hit a brick wall at some point. They're like, nobody's ever taught me how to run the business, how to lead the business. They've taught me how to balance the books. They've taught me how to, stay out of jail and not breach the tax code, but they haven't taught me how to lead a team and grow a business. And that's a mystery to so many of the millions and millions of small business owners. And it was a mystery to me too, as a young small business owner. I've been through business school, I've been in corporate life, and now I find myself in a small business environment. And the challenges and the roadblocks in front of me are things that I don't see in business school or see in corporate. These are on the ground real challenges. How do I inspire my team? How do I lead my team? How do I cast vision? All these classic things that you need to know as a small business leader. And so one of the things that, we do as Waymaker is we help you answer and learn some of those fundamental things to actually lead a small business or lead your business. And strangely, the things you do as a small business are exactly the same things you do as a big business. They just happen to have more zeros on the end of them. The principles are the same. And so the art then is to help people see, okay, if I put the clarity in the right place, if I remove the roadblocks for my team, if I show them the way to do it, then I'm going to help them. And so the classic art of leading a small business is where we focus.
Love it. So how do people get in touch with you?
Well, it's really easy. I mean, anybody can jump onto waymaker.io and sign up for a free trial, and you'll get 30 days free, and you can go ahead and you can use whatever diagnostic you like. We actually have a range. We have what we call our full buffet business diagnostic, and that's going to diagnose the entire business: sales, marketing, service, strategy, business model, the whole kit and caboodle. That'll take you 15 to 20 minutes to do that one. But then we have some smaller ones. So if you're interested in people and culture and focusing on that part of your business, you can take the employee experience diagnostic. If you're challenged by revenue and you want to grow customers and market share and more revenue, use our customer experience diagnostic. Or if you're actually interested in growing people, jump in and look at our leadership diagnostic. All of them function in a similar way using the leadership curve. They're going to identify the skills and the systems you need to grow, whether it be grow a leader or grow your revenue or grow your culture or grow your business. And you jump onto waymaker.io, you choose which diagnostic, and then all the platform tools, goals, roadmaps, meetings, tasks, all the productivity stuff you need is there, and you're set to go ahead. So jump on, sign up. You've got 30 days free. If you don't like it, tell me and we'll make it better. If you do like it, tell me, and I'd love to hear your feedback. And get your team on board and get in, make a way. Everybody has the skills and the abilities to do this.
This is so interesting because these are simple things, really simple things, but it's like when companies get at a certain place, they forget the beginning. They just forget. They get caught up in productivity. They get caught up in revenue. And like you said, in turbulent times that we're in right now, it's like when that drops off, what do you have left?
Yeah, that's so true. In turbulent times, when things go wrong and the chaos begins to emerge, if you don't know who you are, then the circumstances around you will crush you.
Mm-hmm.
But in turbulent times, and when the chaos starts to creep in, if you know who you are, then you can crush the circumstances. And that's the difference. That's why character always wins. And that's why we call it a character-driven leadership methodology, a character-driven business growth methodology. It helps you understand who you are, what you stand for, why you're different, the value you create, and the problem you solve. And when you know that, then you can stand against anything. You can win. You can find more customers. You can beat your competitors. And trust me, there will always be people that are chasing a quick dollar and want to skip the hard bits of building character and clarity and knowledge and alignment within a team. And if you invest in those things, then you'll build a lasting business.
I just love it. I love it. And this is definitely a different approach to, what we're used to hearing from business leaders, teaching people how to do this and how to do that. And never once do we hear about spending time with the character of your company.
Now, I'm going to ask you a very quick question. Is this, when we start talking about character, is that something that really has to be, you sit down and hammer it out? It's
You do.
Collaboration, and you hammer it out.
Yeah, and it's how long have we got? Have we got 5 or 10 minutes? Because I'll go into this if you like. If we don't, then I won't.
We're going to have you back, so.
Oh yeah, you coming back, because we definitely get into this
fascinating topic. Yes.
So
give
we're
us the crib notes on it.
Yes, and
okay, I'll give you the crib notes.
Yeah.
So if you jump in, and this is the real high level. If you jump in and diagnose your business, then we're going to guide you in the software to asking 7 questions. And if you ask and answer these 7 questions, and each question has a leadership curve with skills and systems, a diagnostic result that goes with it. So a question, for example, 7 of them, one of them is the first one, which is around vision. What is our vision? Is it driven by our purpose? And what are the roadblocks to achieving it? That's it, question 1. And what is our vision? Is it driven by our purpose? And what are the roadblocks to achieving it? And we have a vision leadership curve. So there's 15 to 20 skills and systems in any organization that if you want to be a market leading organization, you'll want to achieve maturity in each of those skills and systems. And by system, we mean a process or an action that you would do regularly. And by skill, we mean something that you or your team will learn and know how to do. And so we'll reveal to you on that vision leadership curve where your gaps are. And then in the software, we'll say, well, ask this question. What is your vision? Is it driven by purpose? What's holding you back? And you'll see things that are holding you back on that curve. And the question is, well, so what? What do you do about that? What goals are you going to set to improve the clarity of vision and the problem you solve for your organization? And what roadblocks are there? And so you're gonna start setting some draft goals. You're gonna identify 2, 3, 4 things that you need to do to actually move your business forward. And as you do that in the software, you're creating what we call backlog goals. And you're going to go through 7 questions, and I won't go through them all now. I'd love to come back and talk to you more about it. But by the time you get to the 7th question, you would have covered vision, you would have covered market, you would have covered strategy, you would have covered business model, you would have covered customer experience, which includes sales, marketing, and service, and you would have covered employee experience. And then on each of those, we ask, what is the clarity of that? So what is your vision? What is your market? What is your strategy? And then there's a few other elements of the question. So the very first thing every organization needs to know are those 6 fundamentals. There's 6: vision, market, strategy, business model, customer experience, and employee experience. And we would call those the core characteristics of the organization, because they speak to problem, purpose, positioning, perceptions, personality, and practices, the things of who you are. And so as an organization, when you ask that question and you see your leadership curve, if you don't know the very first part of the question, what is my vision? If you can't answer what vision is, you got to stop there and go, actually, before we can even improve our vision, we've actually got to clarify it. We've got to do the hard work first, which means you're going to clarify purpose, the problem you solve. And so once you get those base, we call them the core base clarity elements. Once you get those right, that's what sets the characteristics of the organization. Because contained in those 6 areas is purpose, is principles, is personality, positioning, all these core elements. And they don't change whether you're $1,000 business or $1 billion business. They don't change. They stay the same. And so the art is ensuring that as you grow, those core elements stay the same. That's what we mean by characteristics of the business, character of a business. And so each time, and so by the time you get to the 7th question, and I'll wrap this up here, the 7th question in our 7 questions as you work through your business strategy is what 1, 2, or 3 things that, if delivered, shift the needle on this organization. So what 1, 2, or 3 things that, if delivered in the next quarter or half, actually, it says, shift the needle on this organization. And so by the time you've got through the first 6 questions, if you've got 2 or 3 goals in each area, you're going to end up with 18, 20, 25, 30 things to do. And this is the problem with most strategic planning exercises. You get in a room with your team and you go, right, what have we got to do? And you come up with 20 or 30 things to do. And you start dishing out all these 20 or 30 things to do to everybody. And everybody walks out and they're like, oh, I've got so many things to do. I'm just going to go back to doing what I did yesterday. Wow. And because you've got too many things to do. And you've actually got to turn around and say, all right, of the 30 things we could do, we should only do 1 or 2. I had a stretch, maybe only 3 things that, if delivered, that is done and working in the business in the next quarter or half, shift the needle on this organization. If it is not the most important thing that shifts the needle on this organization in the next 12 to 24 weeks, don't do it. Only do the things that matter. Right. Everything else gets put aside until it is the most important thing to do in the next 12 to 24 weeks. But if you try and do more than just 1 or 2 or 3 things, you will, and all the psychologists tell us this, you will start to multitask, you will force your team to multitask, and you'll have so many things to do that you will just go nowhere. You'll just spin your wheels. And so the art is actually saying no to the majority, yes to the minority of the most important things, and getting on with that job. And I have seen this work for the last 10 years, and it is remarkable the impact this has on your organization.
Awesome.
You have to come back, because this is just not enough time to really dig deep into this. But Stuart, we are so happy that we finally got to collaborate with you. And again, how do people get in contact with you?
So you can get in contact with us and the platform via waymaker.io, start your free trial. And if you want to get in contact with me, LinkedIn is probably the best place. Search me up as Stuart Leo, Waymaker. I'm pretty responsive on LinkedIn, and I'll connect with anybody. So connect with me, send me a message, ask me a question. More than happy to help reach out or support.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to have you back, because we got to dig deeper, and in listening to you, it is very deep, and we need to make sure that our audience understands the aspects of this and
really
understand the importance of character in your business. Thank you.
Well, it's been a pleasure, and I love to come back. And yes, just such a joy spending time with you guys this morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you for tuning in to Just Minding My Business Radio. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
We hope you enjoyed the show and appreciate you stopping by. Many blessings to you and yours.